This is my CPE 301 final project. A quick overview. Right here we have the water reservoir with the sensor. It's calibrated so that at a quarter of a cup, roughly 25%, it will initiate an air state. That is, there's too little water in the system for it to function, and then it'll run into an air state. Moving from right to left, we have our LCD right here with a pot. This is our RTC module for checking the time. Moving right here, we have our DHT module for checking the humidity as well as the temperature. Here we have our stepper motor, which changes the angle of the vent. And that is controlled by these two buttons right here. This is going to be up, see right there, up and down. And you will see indication on your serial monitor as well that the stepper motor is moving. Right now it's calibrated so that each cycle moves 15 degrees. Indication for right here, we have our four LEDs. Left to right, we have blue for running. That is, the fan is on and the system is operating. Idle, that is, the temperature is too low to having the fan run, but it's prepared to run. Yellow for disabled, that is essentially the system is off, and red for the air state when the water is too low. Right here we have our power supply, which is connected to both the fan, which is used in the running state, blue, as well as the stepping motor. And these three buttons right here, moving left to right, we have on, which is 1, which will move us from a disabled state into an idle state. 0, which is to put it into a disabled state from idle or running, or the error state, which is red. And then we have the reset button. So when we enter the error state, we have too little water, we fill it back up, it's going to stay in an error state until we hit that reset button right there, and then they continue operating as per usual. And then right there we have our Arduino microcontroller. Let's start the system. System's booting. Serial monitor, state change to disabled. There's our yellow light and nothing on the LCD. Perfect. Again, we have nothing in the reservoir. So when we turn the system on, we should move directly into an air state. Let's press the 1 button. Okay, immediately went to red. There's our LCD. Water level is too low. Hopefully it's coming on the screen. And then here's our serial monitor. State change to idle at timestamp. State change to error immediately after that, the exact same timestamp, essentially. Again, here's the pot just to show that the contrast works. So let's refill our system to put it into an idle state. So I have some water right here. And again, it's about a quarter of a cup. So this should take us to about halfway, which should be more than enough, right? Look at the sensor right there, perfect, a little over half. We're still in an error state. Once we press the reset button, it should take us into idle. Perfect, green for idle. Right there, it is tracking minute by minute our temperature as well as our humidity, the DHT sensor. You can see that state change on our serial monitor. Perfect. And to ensure that this humidity is changing right there, remember it's at 29% humidity. I'm gonna throw a little water on it. I'll see. Just spraying some water. And hopefully that'll be enough so we can come back and check to make sure that humidity changed. In the meantime, I'm gonna increase the temperature. Hold on. I'm gonna increase the temperature of the system just by holding my power brick for my computer up to the DHT module. So that should increase the temperature and then initiate a running state with the fan on, and you should see indication on the serial monitor. Right now we're sitting at 29% humidity, 23.8 degrees Celsius. I have this calibrated so at 25 degrees Celsius, the system will move into a running state. Oh, there we go. You can see our indication on there. And then we have our fan on because I put a hot power supply right next to it. Perfect. Everything seems to be running good. Humidity, let's see. Humidity, we're sitting at 98%, 99%. That's from me spraying water on it earlier. So it seems like the humidity on the DHT module is working well. We're in a running state. Blue, fan is still on. Temperature should be going down right now. Let me make sure you can see on the monitor there. Okay, state change to idle. You can also see on there turning on fan, turning off fan. We have timestamps for all of that. Turning off fan and changing state to idle happen at the same time. Seems about right. Let me see here. Let me show you that we can move into a disabled state. So I'll press the 0, right? No indication on the LCD. Perfect. And then you can see that here on the monitor. Move back to on, which will put us into our idle state because our temperature is below 25 degrees. And I suppose the only thing left to do would be to pour out some water, which will move us into an air state because it'll be below 25%. So pouring water. And there we are. That's our air state. Again, that's our message right there. And then you can see our timestamp. Perfect, and should be it. We can move into, or excuse me, we cannot move into an idle or running state from air. Reset with no water in it. That's weird. Hold on. Sometimes this sensor is finicky, so let me wipe it down. Okay. There we go. Okay. I think the sensor was finicky there. So it went back on. But let's try that again. So we're in air. Okay, trying to turn it on. It's not turning on. Putting it into disabled. It can move to disabled. And then you're again getting indication right there. Try and move it on. It goes into air, disabled, on, air, perfect. And then when we try and reset with no water in there, and nothing's changing. Perfect. And I guess that was just because the sensor was finicky earlier, but seems to be working fine now. That's it. Perfect. So I realized that I neglected to show any operation of the stepper motor. So let's do that here in the running state. Move it up, move it down. You can see that indication right here. Moving stepper motor clockwise 15 degrees, moving stepper motor counterclockwise 15 degrees. Perfect. So once and I'll show you in every single state. So once we reach an idle state, then I'll move it as well, air state, and then not in disabled state. Actually, we can just start with disabled. In disabled state should not operate. State change to disabled, and you're getting no indication that the fan, or excuse me, the stepper motor is moving. Let's try and move into, let's move into an air state. And it should operate here. Perfect. State change to air, moving stepper motor clockwise and then counterclockwise. Perfect. And now let's move into an idle state, and it should work. Reset. And we are still running kind of hot. So I'll just give it a second to breathe, and then we can move into idle. Should be about there. Okay, perfect. Idle state, we'll move it up, move it back down, and then you're getting an indication. Perfect. That's it.